That took a long time. We should definitely do the David story next.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do that. So Casey Neistat and Jeff Wittek now. Okay, so this all started, as you guys may remember, Casey made a documentary about David Dobrik, his rise to fame, and when he was about to wrap that up, all this controversy started happening with like the big Dom one, and then also the crane accident happened, and then Casey decided to make it a more about that, right? Mm-hmm. And like the pitfalls of being the super popular creator. So he's been trying to shop it around. I guess he hasn't gotten a good partner yet, hasn't found a good partner yet. And he's been sitting on this documentary, which is apparently, he keeps saying it that it's like extraordinarily damning to David. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
I don't know if I'm the best audience member because I already dislike him.
Right. True.
And I know all this stuff just because I'm so deep into it. But I do think it would be good for people to watch.
Yeah. The way Casey describes it, he's like, I gave David an opportunity to defend himself and he did horribly, so I gave him another chance and it was still really bad. And that's what he used. So
he recently gave a interview, Casey, to the show. What is this show? Who is this people? Who are these people?
I'm not familiar.
I know them. Hold on. I can figure it out. They're like YouTube stats guys,
Yeah,
like numbers. They talk about algorithms and stuff.
So anyway, he's on their show, and he asks him about the Dobrik documentary. And Casey gives an interesting answer that has caused Jeff Wittek to make a segment saying he made an episode called "Fuck Casey Neistat."
It's from John Uche. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Uche?
Yeah, his YouTube interview. He'll do like interviews and talk to Mr. Beast about money and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yo, he talks to Mr. Beast
about money. He talked to
Oh.
Ryan's World too. That child YouTuber.
Okay, now I need Ryan's thoughts on money. That kid knows what the fuck.
He knows how to make.
He is diversified.
The title is 12-Year-Old Billionaire. It's kind of cool.
There's no shot he's a billionaire.
Ryan Toys reviews.
I wouldn't.
A billionaire,
Dude,
it's fucking massive.
All right, whatever. I'm not going to get into
The
this.
big project you took on was the documentary about David Dobrik. I mean, you put so much work into that. You hired translators to interview his parents. You went back to Illinois. You've interviewed his high school teachers, his coaches.
You hired translators? That doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Just saying.
But you also
back to Slovakia.
I mean, you just put so much work into that documentary, but I thought it was also fascinating. I found this quote where you said, I don't think that documentary will ever see the light of day, at least not on your YouTube channel. Can you tell us, like, how did you decide to do that? What were the turns that it took and why?
Yeah, so it's probably the most conflicted thing in my career that I've ever been, that I've ever experienced. And I remain wildly conflicted about it to this day. I was running this morning with my buddy Oscar.
It looks like he might have a mullet.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mullets are in.
They were in.
They are in.
They were pushing it from the beginning, man.
No.
No, I think you're wrong.
All right.
Just finished a feature film, and he was like, I'm not sure what festival we're going to put it in, and what happened to your movie, by the way? And he asked me today, and I thought about today, but the short of what the movie is, it's a feature-length documentary. It's a very formal documentary. It's not a YouTube video. And I wanted to tell the story of what it means to become the biggest YouTuber in the world. And I met David Dobrik when he was really starting out on YouTube. And I think that to this day, notwithstanding the problematic stuff, the problematic content that he made, I think he is the greatest comedian that YouTube has ever had. The screaming to the folks at home you're hearing in the background is across the street from my office is a Halloween haunted house. No one's being murdered.
That's interesting timing.
But David is just...
What?
You hear what he just said? He's made a very bold statement.
Hold on.
No, oh no, you didn't hear it?
The comedic time was being murdered. Is across the street from my office is a Halloween haunted
You want to hear
house.
it, you got to back it up a
No
little
one's
bit.
being comedian that YouTube has ever had.
So he's the greatest comedian that YouTube has ever had.
Yeah, he was
crazy.
glazing him up crazy. He was saying he's the biggest YouTuber ever, which is like, it's
Definitely not true.
Not even close to true. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Toy Reviews is fucking. You know.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
I mean, he was big. David was big deal. Don't get me wrong. He was
He was big. He was a big YouTuber.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think he was saying mainstream. I mean, before Mr. Beast, I mean, he had like Leonardo DiCaprio, Justin Bieber in his videos.
Yeah, he
had
was
huge people.
No, he was going big for sure.
Yeah.
I know that David like orchestrated and obviously edited his vlogs, but like, is he the comedian? I guess if it's his content, but like it was his friends that were providing the actual
He
content.
was just telling him. Yeah, I mean, he's fun. You could say he's funny. I don't know if he's a comedian. Not like me.
Right. Not like you.
me.
No.
You see how I come out here? I sit in front of the camera. I'm being myself. I'm moving all over the place,
Yeah.
mentally,
You're
being
making
funny about
wacky
this,
noises.
being funny about that.
real.
Jolly.
What does he do?
What does he do? He
not a
laughs.
Yes, not a comedian.
Folks at home, you're hearing in the background, is across the street from my office is a Halloween haunted house. No one's being murdered.
That's interesting timing.
But David is just
Oh yeah, it was interesting timing. The ghosts were not
Yeah, we
approving
weren't
of
having
that
it.
statement.
the comedic timing, everything about his videos are unique, and to this day, nothing's even come close to replicating them. And I started documenting him and his growth. And sure enough, like, you know, in the time that I started documenting him, he became like one of the biggest celebrities YouTube had ever seen.
That's probably true.
yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I watched.
Yeah, he was a big deal. He was a big deal.
He exploded on the scene. And I was so excited to make that movie. You know, the ugly stuff and the good stuff.
That movie would have sucked, by the way, Casey. Just saying, that would have been the most boring movie. Even if like he was still like the darling of YouTube and never did controversy, like that movie would be so boring, wouldn't it? Just a glaze fest for David. I mean, who gives a
Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck?
I mean,
guess.
we were all there for the come up. We saw.
Stuff. And I was very confrontational with him, even though he's my friend and I loved him very much. You know, I never hid from any of the controversy of who he was. And then as we were finishing that project, two really cataclysmic things happened. One of which was that one of the cast members, David's videos had a large cast. One of the cast members who David had excommunicated.
You mean the unpaid
from,
work? The unpaid workers.
You're right.
Because he was so problematic, it came out that there were very, very legitimate sexual assault allegations against one of his cast members. And that's an oversimplification. There were videos made. There was certainly wrongdoing on myriad people's behalf, including David making a very tongue-in-cheek video about it, even though he didn't understand the totality of the situation. It's very complicated.
He's running on defense a little bit. And it gets more intense.
But the short of it is, you know, there was a bad guy that was platformed by David unknowingly. That bad guy did really bad things, and David dealt with it.
I don't know how. I'm sure Casey knows more than me about it. Okay, or at least probably. But he didn't know about Dom. I mean, didn't everybody know Dom was a creep?
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah,
extensively.
like it was well known.
Like that was. His,
I mean, did he know that Dom was like committing sexual crimes?
So again, he definitely is a creep, but the defense is that they were playing the characters, and these were characters that
When the camera's off, that dude's
no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, and there's multiple people saying what a fucking creep he was, but that's what a David Dobrik fan or a David would probably argue is that we were all just playing these characters. I didn't know he was actually like that.
No, because David
Denied.
No, not to you. That's sorry. Just to like prove that wrong. Don't you remember that there was like talk of him assaulting someone at
Yes, at
VidCon,
Right, that's
and
a
then
good
he
point.
posted an apology video, and David commented on it and
He
was
said,
like,
like,
"We
great
all make
apology,
mistakes."
bro.
Yeah,
Proud
Yeah.
of you. He said proud of you. Yeah, yeah.
it's
That's a
even
great point.
harder to say sorry.
right.
So he knew that there was at least a little bit of negligence. Yeah.
Yeah, he
a very
definitely
good
knew.
point.
And
knew
he
that
helped
shit.
recruit these girls to participate in this threesome or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude.
and that's
Sorry.
the hand waving that's going on by Casey right now. Is like he's like this guy who's associated with David did this bad thing, and some videos were made and you know David made some mistakes too. It's like no, he facilitated the whole thing. Like it was content.
It was in service
Yes.
to his business.
yeah.
Yeah.
However, I think one, Casey knows more than us, and two, he's probably trying to be somewhat careful in terms of the accusations he makes because he knows
Sure.
David is mad at him and litigious, probably. And but still, I don't really because we'll keep watching. But he says him and David like cut him out, like they haven't talked at all since then. I just don't know why. Well, you'll see. He says more.
Very poor.
Chet reminded me too that actually the girl texted the next day and David
Right.
didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And he took it down.
Yeah, and he
right?
took, yeah.
David did know about the text.
So Dom told him at least something enough to get him to take the video
Right.
down.
Oh yeah, right. See, that's a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Right.
There.
That's a lot of proof that your friend is an R-wordist.
And Casey Neistat is like upping him, giving him all the credit for all the good things he's done.
Yeah.
But in that case, if he's this mastermind that's doing all this, he also obviously
Again, he
created this
facilitated
situation.
I remember too when we were interviewing Jeff, we had a big gotcha where there was a picture of them all together when she was like blackout drunk.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dom's like, okay, I'm gonna take her home. Yo, bad yeah, bro. You fuck the shit out of her.
Yeah, so either he's this mastermind or he's not. They can't
He
be both.
didn't know. He
True.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
think Casey's just trying to be diplomatic and
Yeah.
like legally speaking.
Well, let's hear his rationale for why he's releasing.
And I never make excuses for him or how he dealt with it, but those are the sort of the facts on the ground. And it sort of left me sitting there being like, well, I've just spent the last 2.5 years of my life. What do we do now? And I remember talking with my editorial team, and it's like, this has to be included, but how much of the movie does this need to be? And I remember my editor said to me, it's the whole movie. And I think that he's right. He's completely right. How do you possibly...
Yeah, because something interesting finally happened. Your boring ass documentary.
Yeah, the editor that had to somehow polish this turd
Yeah.
was like, are you kidding me? We finally have something compelling here.
Yeah, let's go.
This is the movie.
This is great.
tell the story of this person's rise without being abundantly clear, like the negative implications and what can manifest, like what can happen. So that's the movie that we made. And at the time, it was very clear to me that the most responsible thing I could do was let David speak for himself. Obviously, I had a lot of editorial input on it. I made the movie, but I don't talk in the movie. You don't see me in the movie. And I wanted to give David the greatest opportunity I could to speak for himself. And he didn't do a good job. He didn't do a good job at all. He certainly.
So that's compelling to me. Like, I'm curious, like people, that's probably interesting to watch.
There were a lot of opportunities for him to really, I think, demonstrate a level of understanding and stuff like that. And I don't know the reason why, too young or hubris or myriad other factors, but he didn't do a good job of representing himself. And I just gave him opportunity after opportunity. And eventually it was like, look, this is what it is. And we made that movie. And I think it told the truth of what happened. I mean, it was not my words. It was the people in it telling the truth of what they experienced.
It's true. He wasn't in it at all. It was all just told from their POV. So I thought it was funny how they tried to say he was lying or something, or that he took stuff out of context. I wonder if they pressured him legally, because he was been like suing people.
David?
Yeah.
To Casey? Maybe, I don't know.
And it really shows sort of the fall, the cataclysmic fall of one of the greatest, biggest creators of our time. Self-inflicted fall. At the same time, too, one of the cast members in his videos was injured, almost to death, was almost killed while shooting a stunt. So David was facing all this at the same time, and this is while I'm making my documentary. So that's what the story was. And I finished it because I can't not finish something. I think it's important to finish it. And we premiered it at South by Southwest Film Festival.
Oops.
And there was some talk of selling it to a proper distributor, but I didn't have a lot of enthusiasm for it. And I still don't know why I don't put it out there. I think it's because maybe some part of me, as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, is because I still very deeply love and care for David. And maybe
this is the part with piss Jeff off, obviously.
Deeply in love.
I mean, this...
It's starting to sound like Jacob.
Yeah.
He imprinted on him. What can you do? It is what it is.
It would have been fine to say that if David Dobrik was just a douchebag or a bad person. but there's like victims involved in this.
Yep.
And by saying that, it just minimizes all their stories.
And the fact that he sat down with them, like personally, and they like told their stories, and he's still being like, I love David, the person who fucking facilitated your biggest trauma.
Let me finish because he gets into all that stuff.
There, I think it's because maybe some part of me, as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, is because I still like very deeply love and care for David, and maybe it's about protecting him from himself.
That is just I don't get that. They're not friends. He cut him out of his life, and he's got to stand on his shit, right? If he's made this video, like, what do you mean you're protecting him? Why?
But I also feel responsibility to the victim, who I spoke with off the record and showed her the movie before a single person saw it to get her blessing and understanding. And I think that she was very generous in letting me share her story, and I didn't follow through with that.
That sucks. I mean, he's being radically honest about everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he's got to know this to make him look like an idiot, like a dickhead.
Yeah, because how traumatizing to sit down with somebody and relive your trauma only for it to be cast into like a void. Is nobody just going to hear it? That brave afternoon or week or however long she spent with him, that she spent detailing this, like, it was all for nothing. It was also that no one could hear her. Like, that's so, in my opinion, that's really unfair to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm extremely conflicted about it.
What's your relationship like with David Dobrik now?
It's non-existent. I think that
That's crazy.
What is
right
happening?
after that?
He imprinted on him.
Right.
I don't know what else to explain this.
What?
when the movie was done, I showed it to him. He's not happy with it, and that's it. I made
never
it clear
spoke to him
that-
again?
Sounds like a shit dude.
Yeah. What an asshole.
It's almost like he has a history of just cutting people out of his life
Yeah.
when they displease him.
Like, if he ever wants to reach out, I'm still the same person, and I'm always here and available. But that's kind of where things lie.
So you can see why some
Okay.
people were like,
Yeah. Well, let's watch Jeff's response yet, because he
But I
Directly
did talk
gets to the heart
to
of
Casey
that.
this morning.
right.
I think the main problem, which he explained to me, is that he's just not found like a good partner yet.
Well, that's
on
a totally,
distribution.
that's just like a radically different explanation than the one we just watched. That's understandable. He's
That's
having
what
problems getting distribution. Sure. That's difficult.
Yeah, I don't know why he took this route of explaining, but
Is he just giving you the PR response?
well,
To be honest?
but this is the public one. No, I mean,
Yeah, but he knows
I think
what
no,
he
I
tells
think
you is going to
I don't think so.
find its way out into the public.
I mean, he's been consistent. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
But regardless, he says he doesn't want to post on his YouTube channel because he thinks people will interpret it as like drama, and he wants it to be seen as like a documentary, and it's not like gossip about David or drama.
He made that distinction at the beginning, and I think it's clear to me that his hope in this project was to sort of elevate himself into becoming a filmmaker rather than a YouTuber. And I think that's probably part of it, is he's trying to stick to that vision still.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a failure to
Which is totally
to put it on
understandable.
YouTube.
He spent 2 years, he funded it himself.
Before YouTube, he had a series that he sold to HBO, him and his brother. It was like 12 episodes called the Neistat Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
He's had some
he's an experienced
success.
filmmaker. So anyway, let's see what Jeff said.
Yep.
Let me pull this up here. Jeffy Boy in an episode titled "Fuck Casey Neistat."
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I guess I have an idea of
You poked
how
the
he
bear,
feels.
Casey. You don't want to fuck with Jeff, man. Cabiche. All right. We got... I always got to have Jeff's back, though. He's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also sympathetic to Casey, to a degree. Even though I think he's wrong, for sure, in this situation.
Documentary update interview.
I haven't watched it.
Recently,
Who's that? You got a new guy on the couch?
I asked that too. I think it's just one of his dogs.
Okay. New dogs.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
I believe the answer I was given is he's another Cody type.
That's cool. I like it how he just has his like
His boys.
transient fucking degenerate friends sit in.
Well, we don't know anything about this guy. I don't know what this guy.
And I love Cody, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, Cody's been traveling the world on that Ozempic money, and he's doing crazy. Have you guys been? Do you follow him on Instagram?
Oh, yeah,
anyone?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
He is insanely like the shit he does, the stunts. Like he did the squirrel jump thing off a mountainside.
Oh, wow.
It looked insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's intense, dude.
Probably on his way to New York. Visit Casey real quick.
Hey.
People saying his name
exactly.
is Christian. Like, dude, that's Christian, old friend.
Okay. Probably great.
Thank you, Bella Simmons.
Thank you. Shout out
out.
Christian.
Shout out.
Queen.
He made a documentary about
Women
David and his
STEM.
success and his rise to fame, and then his fall when the girl was sexually assaulted by Dom. And the documentary was mostly about that after.
girl.
Like the first half was him rising.
That
and
is-
the second half was about the girl, and then like maybe
Jeff
like
saw the documentary too.
I got distracted. The shot of Christian,
Yeah.
it's like severely out of focus. See that?
It is. It's definitely out of. You can see that the mic here is in focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even see it says Puma.
Yeah, you're right. The focal range is terrible.
It's kind
Jeff,
of
talk to your guy.
It's kind of fucked up because it's from Jeff's POV.
like the first half was him.
you need glasses, bro. You got to talk to your guys, Jeff. This is amateur work. Love them though. It's just like this. This is all you have to do.
Just a little note. I mean, it happens. We've had our cameras
Just
get
like
out of
this.
focus sometimes.
Just do this. Tell them. Just do this.
Yeah.
In their defense, they probably just don't have a good monitor in the bathroom.
You know, they had a very
those
tiny
guys.
little work.
Well, then that's on Jeff.
That's true.
Jeff's got to.
It is on Jeff.
under gearing them.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's his name on the show.
Somebody's head has got to roll. That's all I know. We need accountability.
Him rising, and the second half was about the girl, and then like maybe like 2% my accident, and then his reaction about it. That's how it
Yeah.
ended. David like talked about it. Like I saw it. Casey FaceTimed me, and that's why I sued David, because I saw what David said about me and how he really felt.
Oh,
And I
shit.
was like, no fucking way. Like my heart dropped. I was like, like all this time, I
Right,
thought I knew.
right.
I was like,
I'm
best
remembering
friends
this aspect of the story because Jeff, like, I guess, you know, and
he didn't want to sue because he's a tough guy.
also just, I think loyalty is important to Jeff.
Yeah,
And there was a
definitely.
period of time after David fucked his eye up that Jeff was still
Absolutely.
sort of defending David.
For sure.
And then I guess it was Casey's documentary that finally made him snap out of it and like, oh, this dude does not give a
I
fuck about
forget
me.
what was in the documentary that made him realize.
There was so Trisha. Do you guys remember when Trisha asked him about it, and then about the accident, and Jeff was like, "I don't want to talk about that." At that point, he was still defending him, but then he saw in the documentary that David was implying it was Jeff's idea
yeah.
to do the
Right.
stunt. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
he was
fucked
kind of
up.
throwing him under the bus. That's right.
Yep.
I think it was that phone call with one of the Kardashians, right? Where she was like, "Oh, look what this idiot did to his eye," and that like, I remember that ticked him off.
I don't remember that at all. The Kardashian was involved in this?
He like FaceTime one of them. That's what I recall. Maybe
Dude.
Chad will back me up, but I recall that they were like in the car together, and then he pulled David aside. It's like he was like, "I told you not to say it was my fault."
I sort of remember that. I don't remember the details.
We
but
need the
I remember something
documentary.
like that.
Drop it. We're still waiting.
to this kid.
Yeah.
And this is how he talks about me behind my back.
Yeah.
It's not even behind my back. It's in a fucking documentary that'll be out in a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the statute of limitations would have been up. If I hadn't seen that clip, I would have never got
Oh, got you.
the sue.
Yeah.
True.
So thank you, Casey, for doing that. But also, kind of fuck you, Casey, right now. Because
Oh, he did. Yeah.
he said that he's not releasing his documentary, that you sat down with a girl that was assaulted and spoke to you about her most traumatic moment of her life for days, weeks, and you're going to bury the story to protect this kid that you openly admitted.
I mean, I think Casey would. Yeah, he's right. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you kind of have that one coming.
Yep.
And imagine you're that girl. I mean, maybe I could relate more because I'm a victim. I know my shit's not like hers, like it's completely different, but like hers is way.
Yeah.
This girl doesn't want clout. She doesn't want to get famous. She just wanted to tell the story to get this bad guy that did some bad shit to her. And Casey fucking sat for weeks interviewing her and now he said that he thinks that David was the best comedian on YouTube in history.
That's
That was the funniest part of the interview right there, because David never did anything. He filmed everybody else.
you
Jason,
go.
maybe, if you wanted to say
Slay.
that.
Yeah.
He was,
and
the
we
best.
all know that's not true. The TikTok guy?
Yeah.
The TikTok battle guy? Did you see he's on like a lavish trip through Europe right now?
Yeah, with the other Vlog Squad members.
How the fuck can you
I don't
afford
know.
that?
I think he probably has money, right?
But why is he spending all day to make like a few? It's like, how much is he making in a day?
I don't know.
A few $100?
Maybe. Yeah. Like maybe 300-400.
The fuck is that?
It's weird, dude. I don't know.
A trip like that's gonna cost him like 50 grand or something, maybe less.
Do you have a
two people.
streaming contract with them, like where he has to do a certain amount of hours each day?
That was something we potentially had wondered. Yeah, that would be the only thing that justified it.
Yeah.
But why do the battling? It's humiliating. Do something else.
I mean, how else are you gonna kill 8 hours? I'm not.
Just sit there. Fuck. Just sit there and ask her questions and shit.
Remember when you used to just sit silently and eat a sandwich?
There you
Miss
go.
That was wild.
sometimes.
Me too.
That was fun.
That was a fun time. Man. Very avant-garde.
Yes. the
Something the
avant-garde.
best comedian on YouTube history would do.
It's so true.
Pushing the envelope.
Come on, guys.
Finding laughs in the weirdest places.
For you to say it like that, for you to phrase it like that, is insane. Because imagine you're that girl at home who's now in school or living a normal life, and you're watching David throw Halloween parties and do all this wild shit, and the documentary you did is like now not coming out.
Yeah.
It's not
So,
wrong. Not wrong.
What are your thoughts? Do you think I talk too much about this shit?
I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on it.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough situation just because there's so many people involved. As far as the girl,
Fuck no, he doesn't talk to me. Whoa, what just happened?
This is great. I actually,
What about Jonah?
I love, if you guys are watching over there at Jeff FM, this is a great
Well, hold on.
gag you set up.
They steal from us all the time, and that's fine. I think it's fine. It's good. We could steal this if you like
yeah,
it.
I was gonna
As soon
say.
as you
I
build
do
me a
like
grid,
it.
It's tit for tat. You know what I mean?
build me a grid and I'll do that.
I keep telling you, build the fucking grid. If you
It's
build
true.
it, they will come, Dan.
I think
The
Dan
grid
is,
of dreams.
Dan is scared to build a grid.
Why don't you want to build the grid?
It's because you're going to see the price tag and you're going to be like, do we really
No,
need
you
the
already
grid?
told me. We can do it.
Okay. Okay.
It's just a grid. How much is a grid? It's grid. Couple bars. Boom, boom, boom. Grid.
We'll see.
Why? Jeff doesn't have a grid.
They must have some sort of pipe system up there for that. That seems to be a mover, like a DMX mover light that they have programmed to zip in on somebody like that.
Let me see. I don't even know what happens though.
Kyle knows
Football.
what the fuck's up.
For
Shout
real.
out.
Yeah.
as far as the girl, you
Yeah. What about Jonah? Because he's in between us. He
Just putting him in
introduced us
like
to
the
each
hot
other.
seat.
I mean, honestly, that's just the toughest part because
Nick.
we were all close.
Antonians.
Yeah,
I talked to Vardon the other day.
they love you.
Love that kid.
I know Vardon like
So if we put one up here, how can we? We'd have to be able to control it mobily where it's pointing. Or we could do preset
Yeah.
Yeah.
positions.
No,
that would
I'd
be
have it all
good.
programmed and everything.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
baby.
You
I
know, I don't
love that Jeff did that. This is gonna get us some awesome lights in here.
Bro, what do you stop saying that?
Keeping up with the
I've given you the
Joneses.
green light like a year
I know
ago.
you give me the green light, but you gave me the green light twice before, and both times I came back with quotes of what it would cost, and you got sticker shock, which is understandable. It's going to cost a lot of money,
Ethan.
but it sounds like your game.
Well, the last times we were building a set, and I don't think we needed it for those sets.
It wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't part of a set build. Yeah, it was like a separate.
Okay.
Well,
Ethan.
we need to grid the whole fucking area.
We'll talk. It sounds like your game for it. We can at least maybe we can start small. The thing is, a lot of it has to do with the structure of this particular building. We got these tall ass.
How much do you think it is going to cost?
If we did the whole studio area,
Okay.
if we did the whole studio area,
Okay, let's start there.
and we paid. The other thing is that there isn't enough power up there. We would need electricians to run a lot of power and everything.
Great.
Plus the lights.
The whole project is gonna probably be 20 to 30 grand, something like that.
Okay. I was expecting worse the way you were talking about it.
I thought it'd be a lot more, Dan.
Yeah.
I love that whole family.
yeah.
I still love. I mean, I still deeply care for Nick.
Yeah.
I wish him the best.
It's vice versa. I talked to him. I know.
we talked-
I know.
what-
It's
are they
vice
talking about
versa.
something
He's just
else?
such a.
Nick Antonian, they called him Jonah when he was in the
Oh,
Vlog Squad.
him. Yeah, they used to do videos together.
Yeah,
and then
they would
Jonah
do-
fucking left him.
Yeah.
For David. What kind of psycho shit is that, y'all?
He
We
would
don't
do like collab videos with the whole family where he would help them lose weight and he would give them money. And he talks about in this how it was like beneficial for them, but he just picked David over him.
Yeah.
How can you do that, like as a person?
He goes on to talk about all of that right here.
I know they don't see themselves having any other route to success and
Look at Jason Nash.
not having to get a regular job than tagging along and hoping for some sort of resurgence in his career, and he's going to put them all back on. And I just don't see that happening.
I think it's just like I don't want to speak for Nick, but I think it's like a loyalty thing where he thinks that David's the one that like put him on, so he feels like
I'm gonna give him a no. This song's kind of missing for me, right, Zach? Like I see what they're trying to do, but it's not. I think the
quite the
problem
right
is it
vibe.
needs to be a little more memey so you get the joke.
No, I get it. Kyle's a good dude.
Well, what's your advice for him in this moment?
No,
Do you like the drop?
It could have been a different song.
Well, what kind of song do you? I mean, what would you tell him if you had to give him advice?
Play the song.
Yeah, what would you play?
Everything David did too.
Play the song. If I start, I mean, you have one, and that's good. What's good is we use the same ones, and that cues the audience. They might too. I don't know because I don't watch it regularly.
What's the vibe? Like inspiration?
Like I'm talking about like my old friend.
Yeah, but it's like
and then there's
the thing is, it's kind of bittersweet.
This
This is iconic.
Yeah, it's probably more like this.
This is iconic.
His sound makes me so sad.
This is iconic. Don't even get me started talking about my old friend.
well,
puts a hole in my
maybe
chest.
that's like their version of this song. To be fair.
Yeah, we don't know if they might consistently use it.
Yeah, but it's not as good either way. Because this
I mean,
one
this
gets,
is a heater. This one.
This one's
You remember-
devastating.
You remember when that one time Cam was here and we ordered, he got the giant torta.
I do. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Such a character, that guy, Cam.
Man.
I mean, we started playing this at the live show when Cam was coming out, and people went apeshit for it. It's like that first note.
Oh, they know.
It was always nice coming to office, catch a smile from my good friend Cam, like a light, like a sunbeam light,
And then
shining through the clouds.
I'll add some bird chirping,
Very nice.
Of course, today we had that fucking loud ass bird up there, which
Yeah,
would come in handy right now.
Yeah, true. Where are you now, bird?
I guess I just miss seeing that smile shine on that there through the clouds like that.
That's called a bird grasshopper.
It's called
Some days I walk around the meadow and it's overcast. There's no light shining through. I see just clouds for days, and I wonder
Yeah, that's for days.
if my friend Cameron, if just one beam of light could come surging down, would my friend Cameron show up? I sit and wait. I feel the breeze.
These grasshoppers, I'm gonna let them go.
I feel the days roll by.
God.
Here he is.
I guess you might say I just miss my old friend. Got feathers of all different colors.
Let him go.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Don't you see?
Cameron does have feathers of all different
He's
colors.
very bright and very beautiful. He's just not meant to be caged.
I know.
Here, say hello to the new head of the CDC.
He's covered in bugs.
My friend, you have bugs all over you.
These grasshoppers are actually quite large.
Dude, our country is so fucked. Oh, man.
I gave just as much money as David gave that family. I gave the same. Beefy Boys, 1,000-pound family, $25,000 checks I was cutting them.
Yeah.
And that was out of love.
Yeah.
My sponsors were $25,000. I was giving them all the money. But I was so happy to make that content because I love them.
Who's he giving
those are
money?
my favorite videos.
Jonas
I go back and watch
family?
them.
Yeah.
I do too.
Did they need money or something? It's a lot of money.
They did a
for
video
it.
together, like the weight loss video, and I think
So he just gave. That was
I
nice.
think they had a
Like a ongoing thing, I think. Like when they would lose money, he would pay them.
yeah.
Lose money for what? From
When
the
they would
weight
lose
loss?
weight.
Oh, okay. I see.
I just watched them like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
They're good. Like everything.
And Nick was the best. He was so good at it, at being the villain. And I love that. I love that I had a guy that would do that, because Steven doesn't want to be the bad guy ever. You know, I love Steven, the stuff that he does.
Even when we had Vardana, remember we had Vardana as the guest?
Vardana was
so
gold.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the best. I mean, I don't think it's really been obviously the same for anyone.
Yeah, it hurts. A lot of it hurts because, you know, I understand everybody's situation, but
it's wistful.
It's not bad.
I did lose a lot of friends.
Wistful.
Reminiscent.
You know, even though they chose my enemy side. This is like the election. You know, I'm making like a Kamala speech right now. Like, even though you chose my enemy side, I still.
Should I keep watching?
No. I mean, not if you do. You got the gist.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that
You got the gist. Well, we are out of time.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't have that much space in my brain to add more things to care about.
It seemed like you did care.
No, I care. I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
Of course I care. So I don't know. It sounds like he's not actually that mad at Casey. It sounds like he's just doing a meme title. But I think Casey's ultimately going to do the right thing eventually. I don't know why he's got such cold feet though. He's just got to get it out there, man.
Just drop it on YouTube at this point.
I mean, I get not wanting to do it on YouTube for the reason he said makes sense, but it's been so long, man.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
Even not posting it, I would be fine with at the end of the day. But what he said in that podcast is so mean to the victims. Like, I want to defend the perpetrator, one of the perpetrators, because your story didn't convince me, or like that's what it tells me.
He almost forced his own hand. Like, I feel like he has to now.
Yeah, now he has to.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his goal. Maybe he knew he needed to. He needed to provoke himself subconsciously.
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
Maybe this will get the attention of like Netflix or something, and they'll offer to buy it.
Yeah, they'll buy anything. I'm surprised he hasn't been able to find distribution.
They'll buy it once it's on YouTube?
No, maybe this
latest
stir that has been caused will get the attention of a publisher.
I think the problem is a lot of these streaming networks, YouTube, most of all probably, they've been burned by so many dumb fucking YouTuber content bullshit that they're probably just like, I'm not paying for this shit again. You know what I mean?